Jamb must repeat this question. There is no juju that Jamb want to use in this question. They must repeat this question. For those that enter one chance, while I drop this question, I am going to explain this question to you, break it down to you, and it is time for you to disgrace your village people and come out clean in your Jamb UTME. You are going to come out in flying colors. So lend me your ears, get your pen and your paper. Do not let your village people succeed. Get your pen and paper and jot down everything I say as you go. The question reads, during which stage of mitosis do the chromosomes line up at the equator of the cell? This is so easy. One of the easiest biology questions repeated by Jamb every year in Jamb UTME. The option reads A. Prophase, B. Metaphase, C. Anaphase, D. Telophase. What's the answer? Jamb 2026 candidates, let's quickly find out. And I am going to teach you everything involving cell division, mitosis and meiosis within 10 minutes. Let's head straight into it. So burn your textbook, throw away your textbook, burn your textbook, set fire on your textbook. You need them no more. So let's go straight to the nitty-gritty. Mitosis. What is mitosis? Mitosis is a type of cell division in which a single cell divides to produce two daughter cells. Take note of that. That are what? Genetically identical. The two daughter cells that it produces, it does not only produce the two daughter cells, but those two daughter cells it produces are what? Genetically identical. So two daughter cells are formed, and those two daughter cells are genetically what? Identical. That's for what? Mitosis. Mito what? Cis. So they are identical to their parent cell, and they maintain the what? The same chromosome number. They maintain the what? The same chromosome number. It's constant. So chromosome number is constant. They look alike genetically with their parents, and two daughter cells are formed. So in mitosis, two daughter cells are formed. They are genetically identical to their parents, and they maintain the chromosome number, the same chromosome number. That's for mitosis. Very simple and easy. So why would you not burn your textbook after taking this lecture? Is there any need to go and be opening textbook and be suffering? No. Everything is here. Everything is here. I do no book. My head, they pay me. Book too full inside. I do no book. That's why I have to be removing it out. I have to be imparting knowledge. I have to be teaching. To remove some of this book from my head. Make my head don't go explode. My head is just so heavy. Let's look at the purpose. The purpose of mitosis. What are the purpose of mitosis? Why does mitosis occur? Why? The first here is growth. Growth. And when we say growth, what kind of growth? The growth of the body cells. Okay? The normal body cells. Some textbook, you can see it as somatic cells. So soma or somatic means involving or relating to the body. Okay? That's somatic. So the body cells, the growth of the body cells. So growth, when you are growing as a human, is a mitotic process. Okay? It's a mitotic process that brings about growth in humans. Okay? Not only in humans, in animals. So another purpose of mitosis is repair of body tissues. And another one, asexual reproduction. So reproduction that does not involve sex. It does not involve mating, male and female mating. It does not involve gametes. Those kinds of reproduction is a mitotic reproduction. And in what kinds of organism or animal can you find such reproduction? You can find it in amoeba. Okay, amoeba divides, or amoeba divides into two daughter cells in a kind of cell division called binary fission. Okay, they are identical, two identical daughter cells. Now let's learn the key points for mitosis. Take note of the color coding. The first one is involves one division. Okay, only one division. Only one what? Division. One stage. Only one stage of what? Division. Only one division. And it's only one cell that is involved. That's the number one. Then number two, produces two daughter cells. So this one cell breaks to form what? Two daughter cells. In a process called what? Fission. The third here is daughter cells are diploid and identical to parents. So in mitosis, two diploid cells are formed. That's why it's called di. Di means two. So two cells are formed called what? Diploid. Diploid, okay? Diploid daughter cells, two are formed. And they are what? Also identical to the parents. Genetically identical to the parents. Okay? The gene is identical to that of the parents. And the fourth we have here is occur in somatic cells. Like I said before, it occurs in cells involving the body. The body, not sexual reproduction or gamete reproduction. No, just the body. Okay? Growth, like growth, development, functions of organ, functions of system, functions of organ system, mitotic cell division are involved in those kind of things. So the fifth we have here is stages include prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Jamb loves these stages of mitosis. Jamb loves these stages so much. They love setting questions from there. So I'm going to give you a mnemonic to remember the stages of mitosis, and it's called the P mat. P mat, like the mat you spread on the ground to lie on. P, the mat. P, the mat. So we are done with mitosis. Let's look at meiosis. Meiosis is a type of cell division that produces 4 identically different daughter cells, each with half the chromosome number of the parents. So meiosis on its own is a kind of cell division too. And what? 4 daughter cells are formed. They are not identical to what? The parents. They have different genes. Those 4 daughter cells have their own what? Different what? Genes that is not identical to that of the parents. And each of them also have what? Half the number of chromosome of the parents. Unlike the mitosis where the 2 daughter cells form has 2 chromosomes. So here, the kind of cell formed is a haploid cell, okay? Haploid cell, half. Haploid means half the number of chromosomes, okay, of the parents. That's what the 4 daughter cells possess when they are formed. So let's look at the purpose of meiosis. Why does meiosis occur? It is simply the formation of gametes and increasing genetic variation. That's it. So meiosis is a kind of cell division that is what? Only involved in what? Gamete cell division, gamete production, sexual reproduction involving the gametes. So the gamete is the foundation and the building block of sexual reproduction. So gametes like the male gamete, which is the spermatozoa, and the female gamete, which is the ova. So those are gametes. So it is the kind of cell division that leads to the formation of those gametes is meiosis. Let's now look at some key points to understand in meiosis. To always remember, have it at your fingertip. The first here involves 2 divisions. You have meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So mitosis has only 1 stage, but meiosis has what? 2 stages. The stages of mitosis normally are 4 in number, which is the P mat, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. 4 of them. But in the meiosis, you still have the same 4 stages, but it comes in 2 sequences. Okay, it comes in 2 sequences. It comes in meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So it's going to undergo that P mat the first time, and it's also going to undergo the same P mat again the second time. That is like times 2 of mitosis. So take note of that. So there is usually meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So the next we have here is produces 4 daughter cells. Okay, we already know that. It says the next is the daughter cells are haploid and genetically different from the parents. What is the meaning of haploid? It means half the chromosome number of the parents. Okay, unlike mitosis that has 2 chromosomes. The number is usually 2 chromosome number. But here, half the chromosome number of the parents. That's what the daughter cells come out in. The fourth one we have here is occurs in gametes. That's sex cells required for sexual reproduction. Like I gave you an example like the spermatozoa and the ova in female. Now let's look at the stages of mitosis and meiosis. The stages of mitosis and meiosis involves the first for mitosis and meiosis are the processes by which a cell divides to produce more cells. Both of these cell division processes involve the production or the formation of more cells. That's it. That's the goal, to form more cells. And what? It involves 4 main stages, often remembered as P mat. P mat. So this is the mnemonic. All right. So let's look at P mat. The first we have here under the P mat is letter P, which stands for prophase. And the prophase, what happens during the prophase? Chromosomes condense and become visible. So the chromosome condenses, it's like it thickens and become visible. You now see that chromosome very clearly, okay, when you look at the microscope. So the second thing that transpires during the prophase is also the nuclear membrane breakdown. So Jamb always asks questions from this, so you have to know them. The nuclear membrane breakdown. So as the chromosome becomes more visible due to condensation or thickening, the nuclear membrane, it forces the nuclear membrane to break down because the chromosome has increased in size. And after that, what happens? The third one, the spindle fiber begins to form from centromes. So you know what the centrome is, okay? So the centromere forms what holds the chromosome together, the 2 helix of the chromosome. The centrole holds it. And you know that the centrole is the powerhouse of cell division. That's the determinant of cell division, the centrole. If you know the centrole as the organelle of the cell, is involved in cell division. So the spindle fiber begins to form from the centrole. That spindle fiber is what is going to aid the breakage of the 2 daughter cells that are formed. Because when the cells form, they are closely packed together. They are going to need this cytokinesis, which is the separation of the cytoplasm of a cell into 2 or more strands. So you are going to need the spindle fiber to form from the centrole, because it's that fiber that is going to further lead to the breakage of the two daughter cells. Let's look at the diagram. Illustrate stands for metaphase, and that's the second stage. And during this second stage, what occurs? The first occurrence is chromosome line up at the equator, which is the middle of the cell. You know what equator is now? Like in this my box, where is the equator of this box, where you can see my face now on your screen? This box, the equator is the center. That's from here to here. Is the equator of this my box. So the middle is the equator of the cell. So what happens? The chromosome lines up at the equator of the cell because they are trying to get ready for what is going to occur. And the second occurrence says each chromosome is attached to the spindle fiber at the centromere. So that spindle fiber that is formed, that is going to further aid the breakage of the cell, the chromosome attaches to that spindle anaphase, and this is anaphase. Take note of the color coding. The occurrence during the anaphase, which is the third stage of mitosis, is that sister chromatids are pulled apart by the spindle fiber towards opposite poles. So the spindle fiber helps to pull those sister chromatids. The sister chromatids, it pulls them towards the side, opposite pole of the cell, opposite pole of the cell. The sister chromatids are pulled to the opposite positions of the cell by the help of the what? Spindle fiber. What does this cause? It ensures that each daughter cell will get an identical set of chromosome in mitosis. So in mitosis, remember, it's only mitosis that you have identical daughter cells. So in mitosis, this ensures that the two daughter cells get identical what? Gene. So identical. T in the PMAT stands for telophase. Telophase is the final segment of this process of mitosis. So what happens during the telophase? During telophase, the chromatid reach the pole and begins to uncoil. So the chromatid reach the pole, those opposite poles, they hit those poles and what? They begin to uncoil. Remember, these chromatids were coiled by the spindle fibers. So when they uncoil, the nuclear membrane reforms. That nuclear membrane that was broken during the first stage, which is the prophase, it reforms, creating two nuclei because two new cells have to be created because they also have to have their own cell membranes too. They also have to have their own nuclear membranes too. So they have to have new nuclear membranes too because a cell can't survive without a nuclear membrane. So the nuclear membranes reform, and cytokinesis, which is the division of the cytoplasm of a cell, usually occurs here, which completes the cell division. Let's look at this question. During which stage of mitosis do the chromosomes line up at the equator of the cell? Now we understand all the stages of mitosis. We understand mitosis, we understand meiosis. So this question is very, very cheap. Among the options, option D is obviously not the answer. Option C is obviously not the answer. Option A is obviously not the answer. Or for your correct option, option B, metaphase. Metaphase is the stage of mitosis whereby the chromosome lines up at the equator of the cell, waiting for the spindle fiber to attach to it and what? Pull it apart into the two poles, the two opposite poles of the cells. Congratulations on earning your free mark in your Jamb UTME 2026. Please appreciate me in the comment section.